All right, so hopefully you did excellent on your last quiz, and we are going to move on to a little bit more challenging type equations that just have a few more steps. And what we're going to see today is that all of a sudden we're going to have variables on both sides. So take a look at this problem. This 2x minus 5 equals 3x plus 2. Notice how there's an x on this side and there's an x on that side. Okay, that is an issue because all the x's need to be on one side. Okay, so we are almost always going to be moving the x's to the left. Okay, we're going to move the x's to the left, and then we're going to solve it like normal. So let's go ahead and jump right into this. Okay, so if this is a positive 3x, how do I move it to the other side? Well, you're right. The opposite would be a negative 3x. So I'm going to subtract 3x. That's the first thing I'm going to do. Okay? Cross out. 2x minus 3x is a negative 1x. Minus 5 equals 2. Okay, now I'm ready for my steps. So times negative 1, divide negative 1. Minus 5 plus 5. So the first thing I'm doing is adding 5. Cross out. Negative 1x. 5 plus 2 is 7. Done this. Now I'm here. Divide by negative 1. Cross out. X equals negative 7. And I'm done. Okay, I'm done. So really, the only thing that is new is that we have to take this variable that's on the right-hand side and move it to the left. Okay, and move it to the left. All right, so let's go ahead and see what you can do with this one. So why don't you go ahead and hit pause and start by trying to figure out how are you going to move this positive 5x to the other side. All right, let's see if you managed to get that x moved. So the opposite of a positive 5x is a negative 5x, and that is gone. That is a 0. So 2 minus 5, that is a negative 3x. My 7 is going to drop, and my 16 is going to drop. And now I'm just back to a regular two-step. So times negative 3, divide negative 3, plus 7, minus 7. So go ahead and hit pause if you haven't already finished this problem. Okay, first thing we're going to do, move the 7. Gone. Negative 3x equals 16 minus 7 is 9. Divide by negative 3, cross out. X equals 9 divided by negative 3 is negative 3. And we're done. Okay, and we're done. All right, try this next one. Again, we have to move the negative 7x to the other side. Negative 7x to the other side. Hit pause. See if you can get it figured out. Okay, so plus 7x. That is the opposite of a negative 7x. Gone. 7x and negative 3, that is a positive 4x. So I have dropped the negative 6 and I have dropped the 10. Okay, so now we are times 4, divide 4, minus 6, plus 6. Plus 6, cross out. 4x equals 10 plus 6 is 16. Divide by 4. X equals 4. Hopefully you came up with 4. Okay, now let's look at this one. This one's a little tricky. If I move the negative 7x this direction, then what am I going to have over here? Well, if I move it, I'm going to end up with a 0. Okay, I'm going to end up with a 0. So I'm going to go ahead and just rewrite this so that I just flip-flop the whole thing. Okay, so I just moved the negative 7x over to here to the left, and I moved the 15 minus 2x to the right. And I'm going to go ahead and move the x. So plus 2x. Gone. -7 plus 2x, -5x. Okay, now hopefully you recognize this is division. So the steps would be times -5. So divide -5. -5, -5, x equals -3. Okay, so sometimes it's easier if we flip-flop. Now we could have, I'm going to show you how to solve this one a different way. I could just solve this by moving the -2x the other way. So if I add 2x, this is going to go away. 15 equals -7 plus 2 is -5x. Notice how these two steps are now exactly the same. Divide -5, divide -5, gone. X equals -3. So these are exactly the same thing, okay? So if I don't want to flip the entire equation, I can certainly move the variables to the right instead of the left. All right, let's do one more. Let's look at a special case, okay? All right, so -10k, actually this is not a special case. +10k, gone. 20k plus 7 is -3. And hopefully you're starting to see, let me go ahead and rewrite that a little bit nicer. 20k plus 7 equals -3. Hopefully you're starting to be able to kind of do this part in your head. Okay, so if you don't have to write that part, that is just fine. Feel free to skip writing this if you are starting to see what needs to move first. So -7, gone. 20k, that is -10. Divide by 20. Okay, now let's see what our calculator is going to tell me. So if I have -10 divided by 20 as a decimal, that's -0.5. As a fraction, that's -1/2. So I could have -0.5 or I could have -1/2. Either way works. Okay, either way works. All right, so let's go ahead and practice these today. Make sure that you're showing your work. Don't skip any steps at this point, other than maybe skipping writing your inverse operations if you're ready for that. But don't skip steps as you're moving your x's to the left. And tomorrow we're going to add distributive property to it.